Hello friends, I'm Rachit. I'm back with the second video where we'll take the S.W.I.M framework and apply it in a real life scenario. So I have my nephew with me. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi everyone, I am Pradyumn Agarwal and I am currently living in Raulkela, Odisha, and I am studying in class 9.
All right. So let's have a quick recap of S.W.I.M framework. So in the S.W.I.M framework, S stands for strength, W stands for world needs it, I stands for interest, and M stands for you can make money out of it. So this is the first level of kind of framework. And in the second level of framework, there are two different uh, components for W and M, where M is your weaknesses and M is your motivation. So the first level of the framework, Ankur Wariku has already talked about it in his book called Get Epic Shit Done. However, he has not come up with this framework or he hasn't coined this framework. And in addition to that, what we have done is we have come up with this additional rubric of weaknesses and motivation. And it is important in the world of AI where you need to understand what all your weaknesses are to kind of really make your career long lasting and also understand the motivation for the careers that you have chosen so that you can do good in the selected career. So as he has talked about this general four rubrics, and he has talked about an exercise where you take different activities that you generally like in your life and rate yourself. So Pradyuman has already done it. To save time, we'll just walk through those activities and see which all of those are really strengths and interests. So I'll quickly do one thing. I'll share a whiteboard and list down all the activities that he has rated himself on. So let's look at those activities. So the first one is online gaming. Then we have maths. Sorry. Then we have listening songs. Then we have coding, teaching, watching movies, uh, playing cricket, business. Then he has study, uh, reading books. Then he has outdoor sports and watching YouTube shorts. In addition to that, general investments and finance related stuff. Uh, so if you look at all of these, I'll just make a copy of it because we'll also check all of these against his interest areas. Now, some of these activities, he does it purely from a entertainment perspective. So let's rule them out. For example, watching movies. He does it purely from an entertainment perspective, even though there are few career options that he can pursue in that particular area, but he doesn't really want to do that, like being a movie reviewer and all those. Similarly, listening songs, again, something which we can rule out. Watching YouTube shorts, again, a similar thing. Now, among all of these, what we'll see is which all of these can be actually his strength and which all of these are actually his interest areas. So I'll ask Pradyuman to uh, walk through each of those activities and then we'll classify them as strength and interest. So, Pradyuman, how about online gaming?
Online gaming is something I am doing from my childhood and I enjoy it a lot. I play new games and I quickly adapt to it, so it makes a factor that I'm pretty good at it, which makes a strength to it.
Right. So if you noticed, he pointed out that he enjoys. So that's why I immediately marked as his interest areas. And strength, because based on my interactions with him, if I understood it right, uh, how are your ranks in general tournaments that you play?
Uh, from my city, I can be under top 100 in BGMI, and
Okay.
in my state, I can be around thousands.
Okay. So yeah, that clearly suggests that this is his strengths as strength area as well. So now let's look at maths.
Maths I enjoy, but I'm not pretty good at it. So it is my interest area, but not a strength.
Okay, all right. So I'll remove it from your strength. How about coding?
Coding, I got to know about it 2 years ago. So I am I like to do coding, but I can't invest much time in it.
So I'll just maybe add some additional data point here. So uh, it is his interest, but not the topmost interest, because as soon as someone says I don't get time for it, that means that is not their priority. So even though he might be liking it a bit, but it is not definitely his top interest area. So I would still keep it at interest and definitely not his strength, because he's not good at it right now at the moment. So I'm kind of striking it out from the strength category. How about teaching?
I do teaching really when students who are smaller than me are going through examination and have certain doubts. So they approach me and I teach them and clarify their doubts. So it is my I am average at it and it can be my interest.
Okay. So again, he he really enjoys it, but he's average at it, not very strong. But yeah, I guess we let's keep it in interest, because at the moment this is not his uh, a strong area, but he really enjoys it. Playing cricket.
Playing cricket like everyone, I am average at it. I play it on a casual basis, but not serious. But when I play, I enjoy it.
Okay. So do you really find it a very interesting aspect as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's keep it under his interest areas. Now, business.
I generally come from a business background, which makes me interesting in interest to develop interest in business, and I often sit at my shop, which gives me a basic or above basic ideas of business, so I can consider it to be my strength.
Okay. So I'll add few more data points. Yes, he mentioned about he comes from a business background. He kind of handles his father's business, but that is only one part of it. In general, he has good business acumen, which he has shown through his investment and finance skills as well. So I'll definitely rate him strong in the business. So it is not just about handling father's business and coming from a business family, but also some of the strength that he has shown, and we as a family can vouch for that. So I'll kind of consider this as his strength area and as well as interest. Studies.
Studies, I am good at it, but I don't enjoy doing because uh, mm, from my childhood, I scored pretty good at. I was good at studies. I got 90 plus in examinations, which is a factor in determining how a child studies.
Okay. So again, this is something we have seen. He studies a lot less than other individuals and his fellow classmates, but he has a knack of scoring good marks, but he doesn't enjoy it much. So that's why I've struck it out from the interest category and have kept it as his strength. But still, when I say study and strength, it is more about scoring marks rather than, I mean, going maybe and really investing a lot of time and enjoying it that much. So he's good at it, but maybe not something that he would want to do it in the long term, is what I've understood from him. Now, next is reading books.
Reading books, just started reading books a few weeks ago, so I can't consider it is my strength, but it is my interest.
All right. So it is your interest, not your strength. Outdoor sports.
Outdoor sports is like just like cricket. I am average at it and I enjoy it.
Okay. So let's mark this also strong area. Investment and finance.
Investment and finance, I got to know about it during the pandemic time when I started watching YouTube. So I enjoyed watching personal finance stuff. So I got to know about many creators from them. Started investing in cryptos, mutual funds. So I can say I am good at it and I enjoy it too.
All right. So what we have seen is he has uh, taken a lot of interest in investments. He has gone back, figured out new avenues for investment, invested in those, and have has made good returns. I think if I understand it right, your portfolio stands at 3x return as of today, roughly.
Yep.
Okay. So that's a good return on his investment. In 2 years, he is standing on 3x returns. So keeping and not just he invested on those uh, purely from some other uh, kind of opinions. He did his own research, validated some of his findings with me, and then he went about investing in those kind of avenues and kind of asset class, and he made kind of decent returns in all of them. So now that's also makes this as his strengths as well as his interest areas. So overall, now we are shortlisted the strengths and interest areas. Now, if I look at it, of all these five things that we have shortlisted, I'll strike out anything that he doesn't find it interesting. So of all of these, only study is the one which he doesn't find very interesting. So I'll rule that out, because it's always good to have a combination of something which you're good at and also you find it interesting. So study is something which he's not kind of enjoying it that much. So for now, let's rule that out. And now that leaves us with roughly three options: online gaming, business, uh, investment, and finance. Now, what I would suggest him is so that after looking at all this, we came up with multiple career options, and couple of career options that made sense to us was becoming a esports player. Second was maybe becoming a game developer. Now he has coding interests, but he's not good at it. But if he invests more time in a particular uh, area, he can become stronger and he can make that as his strength. So game development can be another aspect. Third is maybe entrepreneurship, where he uh, comes up with ideas to solve problems for gamers. And he has few ideas. He's working on some of those business ideas. Maybe we'll not talk about those in this video. Will maybe we can touch base upon that in some other video. But based on his interest and where he's taking a lot of time and coming up with business ideas and really going deep into that, I think these three career options are making a lot more sense. Uh, and definitely, I think continuing to study and keeping that as a backup option is definitely another thing. uh, he has to also, I mean, there was another option that came up of investment banking. Investment banking has a lot of money, but he is kind of something that he can consider. But because right now he's more interested towards online gaming, we have kept them as a higher priority. So now, if you'll ask me some of the career options that he can think of, I would say a game developer, Then it comes as uh, esports player, and then it will be something of entrepreneur. Then it will be investment banker, and maybe these are the couple of career options that he can choose. Though we are keeping first three as higher priority, and this more like a backup. Now let's look at which all of these can make money. Game developer, we did some research. I mean, game developer, we all know is a booming industry, and software engineering in general has a lot of money. But we have also seen how AI can impact this. In my first video, I talked about it. If many of you have not seen, please go and watch the video. I'll share the link somewhere here. So this, even though has good proposition now, it might not be that appealing in the future. So this is, I would say, slightly less appealing at this point, because by the time he graduates and he's ready to enter into the corporate world, this might not be that promising. Esports player continues to rise. It will have good future. We have done some research on it. Pradyuman will share about it slightly later. Entrepreneur, we have seen, yes, they'll always be in the boom. Investment banker, yes, they'll also have a boom, but it is of slightly lesser interest to him. So right now we are shortlisting these two and keeping investment banker as the backup option. Now let's talk about the motivation for Uh, each of these, his motivation is not external factor driven. It is completely his interest driven. So from a motivation perspective, it seems completely all right. Weaknesses, I guess one thing that I have noticed is he has he doesn't go out a lot, and he doesn't meet a lot of people or a lot of strangers. But if you look at it, entrepreneur needs you to good with folks, good with individuals. So he needs to improve on those aspects if he really wants to make a good career. So he has to improve his perspective. He has to broaden his perspective. For that, either he can read a lot more books or maybe meet a lot more folks, uh, and kind of open up, be more, lot more outgoing. Esports player, yeah, probably might not need that much outgoing nature, but still it is always good to have a broader perspective. So in general, I think that is one weakness that he needs to work on irrespective of which career option he chooses. Now we'll talk about some of the research that we did on what kind of a money one can make in, let's say, esports player. Entrepreneur, investment banker, we all know has a lot of money. Esports player is slightly a new career, and not many people know about it. So I'll ask Pradyuman to share our research findings.
So we did a basic research on the esports athlete career. By 2027, there will be around 15 lakhs or 1.5 million gamers around India, and the market cap in India would be somewhere around $140 million, which is something 1,000 crores. So if we split it equally among all the 15 lakh gamers, each would get 7,000, which is not enough for today's world. Or if we do a proportion which is 20% of the gamer will acquire 80% of the wealth, so each would get 27,000, still not enough for the today's wealth. So esports player can be an option if you are in the top 1% of the gamers.
Right. So if you are in the top 1%, your prize money can go all the way in 4 5 lakhs, which is decent enough. Then you can have some other stream of income, like you are kind of you're doing making YouTube videos, you're streaming your gameplays, and through all of that you can make decent enough money. But but that is still not a lot of money. So keeping all those factors in mind, I think entrepreneur for him makes the best sense. And then I would say esports player. Keep that as a side option. Continue to see how it pans out. If it really becomes promising and if he really become top 1% of the players, he can consider this. Otherwise, not. And then investment banker as the third option. So these three options is something that we have shortlisted, keeping swim framework in mind. I hope you found it useful. Try it out yourself, try it with your kids, see how it turns out. If you have any questions, feel free to add them in the comments. We'll be more than happy to help you out. And we'll be coming up with more such videos, more such mocking sessions with few of other relatives, nephews, and hopefully that will help you further. Uh, Keep learning, and that's all for today. Bye bye. Thank you.